Hi guys, and welcome to another Dragonheir Silent God video. Guys, today is day 22 on my server. We finally reached level 35 and therefore we've been able to unlock the stage 4 on the Vortex. Stage 4 of the Vortex is the one where the battle really started to change because the boss on the A3 on the first slash of the A3 is going to place the decreased defense and we're going to need to take it off. And so we're going to need to build our composition slightly differently. My comp is pretty much the same that you've seen in previous video. So today I will not dive again into the Vortex. Don't worry. I just want to show you the results I've been able to achieve so far. I've got to the 18 million.4 mark for the moment. I had to swap out Voresh and bring in Nathaniel. The reason is that decreased defense. Now with this comp, with Furbat, Garius, Nathaniel, and 2 damage dealer, I'm able to deal with the decreased defense, removal, and keep my team alive a bit longer in the fight that I will do with Baresh. And yeah, the result is not crazy, but the reason why we start him from here is because with the same composition, with the same team, maybe swapping out Nathaniel to Voresh, I've noticed that I'm able to defeat all the bosses that the game give us weekly. Those once more to the forest, once more the Utior, the Scarlet Dragon, the Emerald Dragon, all those bosses that are part of the storyline. They get reset every week and they drop those page poem which we can buy resources, in particular legendary and epic scrolls, which are very useful to develop our account. And we can also get the material to improve our psychic core. And that is very necessary and is going to be very, very important very soon when we are starting to fight the continental bosses. So having a psychic core that is fully developed early on in the game is going to give you more damage and is going to give you a better chance to get on those ranking on your server. And therefore I thought it would be very important and interesting for you to watch this video and understand that with this Ice Blast team, you can basically blast through any of the bosses that you have to fight every week. But enough talking, let me show you quickly the equipment on the champions, and I'm going to show you the lineup and give you some tips on each of the bosses. I'm not going to show you the entire fight on each of them. I had a problem recording one of them, so we're going to see only some screenshot on one of them. But basically I'm going to give you some general pointer and allow you to see what the results are for those fights. We are fighting for each boss the highest stage possible, and we are obtaining the maximum rewards in this way. So let me jump into the gear so I show you what I'm talking about. The first champions we're going to have a look is Garius. Garius is built in a protection set with the Scarab Amulet. The second tank we're going to bring in is Furbat. Furbat has the Gambler set and the Incense Burner. The reason why it's built with the Gambler set is because my gear is good for that set in particular, and is a champion that doesn't usually bring a lot of damage. If you put him in a Gambler set, you have the possibility to proc that 5% max HP through the passive of the gear set, and you can get some good damage out of the champion. It doesn't change anything, it just helps to do the bosses much quicker. The next champion is going to be Nathaniel. Nathaniel has the tiara that gives enlightenment and is built with the 0 set. The gear is going to be pretty much similar on Voresh when I'm using Voresh. The only difference is going to be that Voresh is going to be built with the Crown Onion Clean to take advantage of that triple hit ultimate, and is going to use also the 0 set but with attack percentage and accuracy instead of pointing on enlightenment. The 2 main damage dealer are going to be the same. I'm bringing Bledin. Bledin has the Gambler set and the Crown Onion Clean when I'm using Nathaniel, and the same gear set, but I'm dropping the accuracy and I'm bringing a little bit more damage with the Eye of the Giant when I'm using Voresh. The main damage is all gonna come from Gertin, and that's why you need to build her correctly. Gertin is gonna be built with the Inventor set, which is the set that's going to give you the more damage for this kind of champions. They all did damage through their battle skills. They build those ice crystals, and their battle skills is what does the main damage. This full stacks of 8% bonus damage are going to do wonder for your champions, especially for the Ice Blast. I've geared her with the Manticore statue as well, because it's going to give you extra 20% damage on the battle skills. But enough talking about the gear, let's jump into the first fight and I give you the pointers on what you're going to need to do over there. The first encounter we're going to have a look at is once more onto Tales of the Forest, where we're going to have to fight the Emerald Breath Dragon. It's a 3-stage fight. It's the first one that the storyline proposed to you. It's obviously the easiest one if I have to pick and rank them. We only gonna have to really worry about the initial placement, and then the rest of the fight is gonna envelop basically by itself. It's a full auto battle with this comp, so you don't have to worry about keeping an eye on it. You just press play and it's gonna go all the way through. Unfortunately, the recording of this fight was corrupted for me, so and being a weekly challenge, I can't go back and re-show it to you, but I can show you some screenshots in regard of the placement, and I don't know how much I can put up, but let's see what I can extract to it. It's gonna be on the screen while I'm talking. Basically, the only thing you need to worry about here is to place your champions all on the top 3 line of the screens, as you might see over here, because the boss basically has a double swing with the tail. On the top part of the board is going to apply decreased attack. On the bottom part of the board is going to apply decreased defense. It's easier to deal with the decreased attack. I have choose to bring Nathaniel here because I want to remove that decreased attack as fast as possible to melt the boss. And the entire fight through the 3 stages, where you have the first stage with the 2 champions who fight in the beginning, then you're going to have a central part where you're fighting the dragon, and that is going to be pretty quick. And then the second part, the dragon basically reach out to boost up his power. But nevertheless, with this team, is going to be so quick. The overall time for me was 1 minute 40. That is enough to get the 1200 page of the poem. Not more at the moment, but again, we're fighting with basically no bonuses, and we are so early on in the game that it's crazy that we're even able to do this content so quickly. But that's pretty much everything you need to know about this fight. So place your champion up there. Try to take advantage of the heal from Furbat and Garius. And it's full auto, you don't have to do anything else. It's obviously relating on your gear, but this is the easiest fight you can get every week. So let's go to the next one. The next fight that we're gonna have to do weekly if we follow the storyline is gonna be the Violet Dragon. What was basically Utior in Season 1, the encounter to what became the champions that we could achieve and obtain pieces of, fragments on them. This is, again, it's a 3-stage fight, but we only fighting really Utior here. Once again, I'm using the same champion. I'm bringing Voresh here because I'm trying to get those heals and the debuff spread around the entire board. It really doesn't matter. You can probably bring Nathaniel. I'm just bringing Voresh because it gives me a bit more flexibility and some extra healing when I need it. I haven't really tried Nathaniel, but next week maybe I will take the time to try Nathaniel as well. You're gonna place against your champions, all come back together to try to take advantage of the Furbat heal, at least on the 3rd stage. Now, this fight is going to be auto in the 1st stage and the 3rd one. The only stage that you really need to manual some operation is going to be on the 2nd phase, when you're fighting Utior with these purple crystals. They are animating when you reach certain thresholds with the HP. You're going to have to save the ultimate skills from Bleeding and Gertin. And the reason why is because one of the purple crystal is going to place basically a block damage on the Utior champion. So by destroying that purple crystal first, you're going to basically be able to do damage on Utior again. This is going to happen twice during the fight, so you're going to have to manual those kills. Be sure that you're taking down the crystal that is protecting Utyr, and you're going to be very quickly to the next stage. The third stage, it will transform into the purple dragon, the violet dragon. And when it reaches a certain threshold of the HP, he's basically going to start spamming attacks. But we bring in so much damage that that fight lost so little that he's basically not able to do any damage whatsoever on your champion. And he's making this fight so much easier with his Ice Blast. I used to have a comp that was basically dying at the moments when the dragons was blasting those attacks, and only the tanks will survive and finish the rest of the HP off. With this team, there is no even need of that. And again, we are so early in the season that it's crazy we are able to do this. Let's get into the next boss. The next boss we're going to have a look at is the Corrupted Queen Sylvestra. This was the third and basically final part of the storyline on season 1. On season 2, she would get really unlocked through the adventure. On the storyline, the boss coming from the storyline we're going to see in a moment. And on this boss, you only have 2 stages. We're fighting stage 2 here. Once again, we bring in the same comp with Voresh. We're placing all our champions up at the front. And we are manualing a couple of skills because we're going to need to take care of those blobs, I will call them, spawning on the back of the comp. The only thing you need to take care of is those 2 ultimates from Bleeding and Gerting. Basically, when the blobs are gonna spawn, you're gonna need to make Gerting jumps on the back. She's gonna take care of those enemies spawning on the back very quickly, so the boss is not gonna stack up extra attack and heals back. But you're not gonna have to do that when it's gonna spawn those flying, 3 flying monster on the back that basically they explode when they die. You're gonna forget about them, focus your damage on the boss on that wave. He's gonna absorb those 3 flying monster, and so they're not gonna explode, not do any damage on your champions. He's gonna take 3 stack of damage, extra damage. It's really irrelevant for the fight. On the next wave, he's gonna spawn again those blobs on the back. You're gonna kill those, or if you have him down with the HP very, very low, you're gonna still focus all your attack on the boss and get rid of this encounter very, very quickly. It was quite easy, surprisingly easy. This boss was make me struggle a little bit on last season. Had to use Sigrid, a lot of AoE damage, spreading out those debuff, use Sigrid to do a lot of damage. This season, I'm on day 22 and I'm getting rid of it in very, very quick time. So again, this team is surprising, and let's get to the last boss so you can see what to do over there as well. The last boss is the Kaustach Abyssolus, and it's been introduced with this new storyline for season 2. So if you play season 1, you're not gonna have to deal with this one. It's basically part of the 2 tower storyline, and we have 4 stages over here as well. It's also gonna drop those 4,000 material for the Psyche Core and the pages of the poem that we're gonna need for the exchange. We are using again the same team with Voresh. We placing the team all together, and in this fight we're gonna have basically only 2 waves. We're gonna fight the first wave with the lady that spawns those tentacles coming from the floor, and that is really the only part of the fight that can be tough. Those spawns are random of the tentacles, and sometimes they are deceiving your champions, and so they're gonna start running out, spreading out, and the heal is not gonna come in time if the tentacles are spawns in a weird position. The ideal position for the spawns is up on the front between your champions and the boss. If you see that your run fails, don't worry, just close it down and redo it. I had to do it once, I believe, because my Gertin died on one of the hits from the boss. Restart it, and is the one you're gonna see on the screen. It was very quick to destroy this first part of the wave very, very quickly. And the second part of the wave, when you're gonna really encounter the Abyssolus, it's basically gonna be full auto. You're just gonna press full auto. The champions are gonna do all their ability at random time. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the boss does, you're just going to melt it so quickly that it's going to be totally irrelevant. And once again, Ice Blast is going to melt anything that is basically the game is placing in front of us so far. And I'm really curious to see how much damage you're going to be able to squeeze from this couple of damage dealer when you're going to come to the Chaos Exploration or those continental bosses team that we're going to see very soon. Guys, before I leave you, if you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to reach the 500 subscribers. Any help, any like will help. We're getting closer, so please, if you can, help me achieve this goal. And I'm gonna see you soon with another video about Dragonheir Silence God.